Hey everyone, and welcome to another Sasquatch Theory podcast. Deep in the Ozark woods of St. Clair, Missouri, near a quiet lakeside property, something ancient has been watching. Tonight, we speak with Robert from St. Louis, Missouri, whose childhood memories and later experiences at his grandparents' lake property turned into terrifying encounters with glowing red eyes in the darkness. A dog frozen in fear, trees snapping under massive footsteps, and a creature bold enough to pursue their vehicle as they fled the scene. Join us as we uncover the chilling story of what might be stalking the forest of Missouri. For me personally, this is not a joke, and I take these reports very seriously. St. Clair, Missouri is a hot spot in the Ozarks, and it has an endless amount of Bigfoot reports, so just beware and mindful when you're out in the woods in St. Clair, Missouri. If you enjoy Sasquatch Theory, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and comment down below. If you have a Bigfoot report you would like to share with me personally, feel free to reach out by email, and I certainly look forward to it. With all that being said, let's dive into Robert's terrifying Bigfoot encounter from St. Clair, Missouri. Robert, welcome to Sasquatch Theory. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing really good. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Robert, if you would, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and your experiences from the very beginning, please.
Okay, my name's Robert. I'm from St. Louis. So I'm a city boy. Lived on the south side my entire life. Uh, we have this. My grandma and grandpa bought a campsite out in St. Clair, Missouri. Um, but they purchased it before the lake was even really finished being dug out. So this piece of property has been in our family my entire life. And before that, obviously. Um, so I've been going out there since my entire life, like once or twice a year. Um, just camping. It's a campsite. There's no electricity. There's no running water. There's no nothing. When we first went out there, man, the place was booming. At least when I first started going out there, uh, as a little kid, the lake was real clear. Um, you could see out the water. You could probably see out 20, 30 feet. It was all sand bottom, and it was really nice. I had a lot of fun. There was a couple of strange things that went on when I was younger. Whatever, like I remember the first time I went out there. I remember clearly. The lake is my favorite place in the world to go. Absolutely favorite. Um, but we went out there once. We had a great time. No big deal. There was a shed on there on the property, and that's where we kept all the fishing gear, life preserver, stuff like that. And my dad had a John boat, no motor. Uh, the motor we kept in the city. We always took it up back up with us, whatever. But he had a thick tow chain around it, and it was chained to a tree right next to the shed. Well, we go out there. I remember the first time I went out there. I had a great time, whatever. And then I'm not sure if it was that same year or the following year we went back, and the shed had been broken into. Um, but it was strange. And now looking back on it, I realized just how strange it was because the doors had been ripped off the hinges, and it was just a little padlock on there. Uh, they didn't like cut the lock or nothing. The doors were completely ripped off this shed and just like thrown about, and everything in there was gone, and the boat was gone, but the chain was still around the tree. It was busted. Now, so now thinking back on it, I wonder, it makes sense why they were confused about why they would rip the doors off but cut the chain on the boat. And we didn't know where the boat was until we went down by the lake, and it was stuck in the sand, like 3 or 4 feet, like sticking out of the water. We were like, "What is going on here?" And well, we know we dug it out, no big deal. We just figured somebody went down there, broke in there, and just sold everything, and then just threw the boat in the water or something. But we couldn't figure out how it got stuck in the stuck in the mud the way it was, or in sand, the mud, because it was like stuck in there, like somebody had just like shoved it in, like like you would like a piece of wood or something, just like shoved it in. It was just sticking out of the water. Like what the hell? Um, and then I never thought nothing of it. And then there was another time when I asked my grandpa, why? Because my grandpa and my dad would always keep their guns out there with us, and when I'd never seen any animals or anything out there or whatever. And so I asked my grandpa why he always brought the guns out there. And he's like, and he just looked at me and said, "Rowdy, there's critters out here." And that's all he would ever say. He would never say, cat, bear, pig, anything like that. He just always said critters. And he's real cryptid about it. So I was, I didn't think none of it. And I never really had any other encounters out there until I got older. Actually, until the last few years, actually. Uh, and then I had my experience out there, which was really, really messed up. Because me and my girlfriend and my cousin and his wife went out there. We was out there drinking, um, just for the evening. I was going to throw a pole in the water and do some night fishing while they were, because I don't really drink too much, but they was fun to drink. Well, okay, whatever. So I'm down by the lake and I'm fishing. And the lake and the campsite, it's a corner lot. It's a corner lakeside lot. There's a lake. There's like 8 or 10 feet of embankment, and then there's a road, and then there's the property. And it's a pretty good sized corner lot. And another thing, now only ever seen neighbors down there. There's somebody that owns the property next to us and on either side of us, right? And then there's nothing but woods behind us, nothing but woods. And the one neighbors that are, I would say, directly on, let's say, if you're facing the property from the lake, the neighbors on the right side are the only ones I've ever seen down there uh, throughout the years, except for the first time I was down there. I'd see the people on the right side of us, and after that first time I seen them, I never seen them since. And every time we go down there, man, we're like always the only people over there on that side of the lake, because it's like that side of the lake is all campsites, and the other side of the houses are on. But the lake's like a horseshoe, kind of. But there's never nobody on the other side of the lake. We always pretty much have that side of the lake to ourselves. Sometimes every once in a while somebody come through on a boat or whatever, because that side of the lake is also no wake, and they would come through fishing or whatever. But there's never nobody over there camping. Once or twice, maybe I've seen somebody down the road a little bit, but other than that, never. And there's also, see, I think it's a corner lot because there's another road that shoots off the main road alongside the lake that goes up further into the woods, and there used to be a house up there and a garage, but that's I've never seen anybody up there except there one time when I was a little, and that's all abandoned now, and now there's like nobody over there, and the trustees don't even hardly go down there too much anymore. Um, because I haven't seen them ever, like once in a while, great while. I've even complained to my sister about it, about how they're supposed to, every time somebody, it's just because it's all private property. So if anybody comes down there, you would think the trustees would, drive by their house or whatever, and they would come by and, at least see who you are. They never do. But anyways, back to my encounter. We were down there drinking, and all of a sudden my cousin starts screaming, Rob, get up here. There's something out in the woods. And I'm like, I'm thinking it's a deer or something. I'm like, man, just don't. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, there's eyeballs looking at us all around through the woods. I'm like, man, I'm not, I'm just like, man, it's probably just deer. Just throw a rock out there, and scare it off. He's like, no, 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 no. I'm telling you, man, there's something up here. And it's just going on for like probably 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm like, man, I don't want to. I'm fishing. you know, I'm like, man, okay, whatever. So I reel my line back in, and I'm a little frustrated about this time. So I stomp back up to the campsite, and I pick a big old rock and I chuck it in the woods. And dead quiet, nothing. I'm like, what's going on here? And another thing, and I should have caught on to this from the first start. When we got there, my dog wouldn't get out of the car. And then normally my dog, well, she's old now, but she was younger back then. She's I couldn't go fishing with her really because every time I go to cast the line out, she's trying to bite the lure or the worm or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because she's on me, and she's I don't know for whatever reason she doesn't like that or whatever. But she wouldn't get out of the car. Would not get out of the car. I just chalked it up to maybe a heat or something. It didn't occur to me that there's something out there in the woods that she might be afraid of. Could sense, you know. I just thought maybe it was too hot. She didn't want to get a car or whatever. But she absolutely wouldn't. She wouldn't have get out of the car at all. When I did get her out of the car. Like they were going to the bathroom, whatever, and she would get right back in. I'm just like, wow, whatever. I'm still not thinking nothing of it. But then he said he seen my eyes. I'm like, and I threw that rock in the woods and absolutely nothing. I'm expecting to hear deer run off or something, and there's nothing. It's dead quiet. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's strange, you know? And then my girlfriend had already gotten back in the car, and she's like, Rob, there's something out there. Man, you guys are crazy. I'm like, it's probably just deer. She's like, no, that's not no deer. And she's like, there's eyeballs out there. I'm like, what do they look like? It's just eyes. What are you talking about? And she's like, they're red. They're red eyeballs out there in the woods. They were looking at us. And she was actually the one that spotted them first and said something to him, and then he seen them, and that's when he started yelling. So I'm like, what are you? I'm like, I'm still not believing. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? There's nothing out here. And then I see them. They come. It's whatever it was like, and it come creeping up out of the woods. It's in the dark, so it's just far enough where I can't see its body, but I can see them eyes. I'm like, what is that? And man, I'm telling you, it was frightening. It really was. Especially after I picked up a rock, I picked up another rock and like chucked it. And once I seen it, these eyes, I didn't. I'm like, I threw the rock over, not at it, but in its direction, you know, and it didn't move. I'm like, whoa. So I pick up another one, I chuck it over in the same direction, and I can see these eyes so good that I can see its brow furl up, like, how dare you, you know? And I'm like, I don't know what that is, guys, but it is not afraid of us. Let's go now. And then we all got in the car. We pulled back down by the lake. And I grabbed my pole and stuff, I left it all down there, and then we pulled off. And the road there's one way in, one way out, and the road that leads out, it goes right alongside the lake. I mean, like literally, there's like the road, and then there's like like I said, 4 or 5 foot, and then it's lake. Well, as we're going down the road, and we're moving pretty good, and I can hear this thing just breaking branches and following us through the woods next to us on the other side of us. I'm like, Rob, step on it, and because my cousin ate her out too, and he's already stepping on it. But I'm just like, go, 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 and this thing is moving. And I can't see it because it's dark, but I can hear it. It's moving through the woods. And it's knocking stuff over. It's breaking branches, and man, it was scary. It was scary, and it was like over a year before I went back out there. And when I went back out there, with a bunch of friends, and this time now I'm bringing my gun with me. and everything's cool during the day. I've never had any problems during the day, but then at night, and I had been hearing these sounds my entire life. I just chalked it up to like wildlife, birds or something, But then when I listened to called the Sierra sounds or whatever, Bigfoot sounds or whatever from the on some famous recording or whatever, and I'm listening to them. And I'm like, well, that sounds like what I've been hearing out there at the lake, specifically the whoops. I'm like, that sounds exactly like what's out at the lake. And then no, this was after I started piecing this together, especially after I seen your video uh, about that one guy in St. Clair that had his encounter out there. And when I saw that video and you showed on the map, you didn't show exactly where he had his encounter, but it was like, and I seen my lake, the campsite on that map. I'm like, what? I said straight up my chair. I was like, no way, no friggin' way. And that's when I started piecing it together. Like, there's no, could it be? Is that what it could be? I'm like, what? And then I thought back to when the shed got busted into it, and the boat sticking out of the lake. And, my grandpa was so cryptid about what was out here in the woods, and why he'd bring his gun. And, and I was always told never come out here by myself at night. And it was weird and it was strange and it was scary. And I don't know. I I think there's something going on out there. And anyways, I get up. I'm like, how could I possibly investigate if this is it? If it's actually Sasquatch or what? How could I go? How could I look through the woods without actually going looking through the woods? Because nobody else believes me. Nobody else, even considers it that could be a possibility. You know. So I'm like, well, let me Google Earth. Yeah, Google Earth. Yeah, I can look. Because I can, because then because I figured if it's Bigfoot, it's an animal. It would smell me coming. It would see me coming or whatever. From a long ways away. But a satellite, it won't. I can get away with that. It would. So I can at least look around because I knew there was a big area of woods back there. I wasn't real sure just how big, and it's pretty big. It's like 300 acres. That's a pretty big swath of land where it's just all woods, deep woods. And so I'm looking through there, and I come straight up on this site. I sent you the picture, and I was like, oh my god! And the picture the screenshot that I took, I sent you. To me, that clearly looks like a big animal walking on 2 feet going down a hill. And I'm like, there's no way. There's there's no way that looks like a Bigfoot in a clearing. Just minding his own business, walking through the woods. Now, you know, and I'm well aware of pareidolia and all that, but that looks like a Bigfoot to me. So I'm convinced that they're out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a terrifying encounter. It certainly does sound like Bigfoot activity. And I've had many people on the channel before talk about these red eyes. Were they lower to the ground or how high up were they?
This one, the one that I seen, like I said, it come creeping up out of the woods, and it was lower to the ground. So I'm thinking maybe it was a juvenile or something. Because there's no, I'm not of the, I don't subscribe to the fact that there's just one. I mean, this guy, if it, Bigfoot, he's been out there for all these years. It's got to be a family, or I think they call it a troop. You know, of animals. There's got to be. There's no way there's just one, and everybody's seen just one all over the country. It's got to be a group. It has to be. You know, So I know I'm thinking that's got to be a family.
Yeah. And how many
But
sets of eyes did your girlfriend and your cousin see?
she said she only seen one set, but where she was sitting at, where she said she seen it, uh, was where the shed used to be. She was on the other side of the campfire, and there's like because the campsite is clear. You know, it's a big circle clear spot, and then there's where the shed was. It's not there no more, and then it goes downhill from there. And she said when she seen it, it was out in the woods in the dark, almost eye level with her. Well, to be eye level with her in the woods in the dark, as far back as she would have to see it where it was totally dark, it had to be about 7 to 8 feet off the ground. But what I seen was not that high off the ground. This thing was like it had to be crawling.
Yeah. It sounds like it was on all fours or possibly, like you said,
Yeah,
a younger one.
uh, all fours. I think. I
Mm.
think like a younger one maybe on all fours because they're. I mean, even like a cat has yellow eyes. Big cat, their eyes are like yellow. I know that, and there's really. I've never seen a bear out there. I've never even heard of bear being out there. I know they're supposed to be reintroduced or something into the wild, but at the time, I don't. There's nothing else it could be. I mean, to my knowledge, there's nothing else in the woods in Missouri that it could be other than a squatch. Because nothing has red eyes. There wasn't no. I mean, I threw a rock at it and it didn't move. That made absolutely no sense. Any other animal would have took off. Well, maybe unless it was a rabbit or something, but then it would have attacked. This thing, it had it had intelligence. Because literally it looked at me and I could, like I could see his eyes. It looks at me like, "How dare you throw a rock at me?" And that's the sense I got. I'm like, "Wow, let's go." Because another animal would throw a rock at or something, it'd run off. This thing was not afraid of us,
Yeah.
and that's what really made it frightening.
Sounds like you ticked it off. Were you guys catching any fish that day at the lake?
I was not. I
Hmm.
was not.
Okay.
Normally I do catch fish out there, but at this time I was not. No, and in the woods were quiet too. They were real quiet.
Yeah.
And there's been one other time I've been out there, uh, where you can hear coyotes and stuff, barking, and it sounds like a kennel. There's so many out there, but then it'll get dead quiet. And there's, the only reason for that to happen would be there's a predator out there somewhere, you know, and that's kind of scary too. But then something's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. These things are in that area, and it just seems like a perfect spot for this creature to roam. You have the giant lake and the Merrimack River nearby. And you said that you watched Patrick's interview with me on the channel, and I think that's only like a mile or two away. He was in some
Not, e-
fields by the Merrimack River. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure it's
man, yeah,
close.
yeah, not even. Yeah, maybe less than a mile, I think. Yeah, and then wow, I mean that was really an eye opener. That's what really set me on this path. I was like, man, that's got to be it. That's got to be it. And I'm more happy to go out there with you and investigate with you through the day. But there's no way I'm going out there in the woods at night, man. I really want to stay the night out there, but I don't want to do it by myself, or unless I got a group of people with me, you know. And it sucks, man, because I miss it. I'm like I said, it's my favorite place in the world, and I love out there camping and stuff, man. But I don't want to stay the night because I don't you don't hear them. You don't hear them. There's nothing goes on until night, man. As soon as it gets dark, start hearing them whoops and stuff, man. It's like, man, because we might own that property there, but that is absolutely their home. I believe that. I mean, we're like renting a place or something, as far as I'm concerned, because they live there. We just vacation there, and now now there's nothing on that side. I haven't seen a neighbor over there in probably 20 years. And
Yeah.
I've been out there. I've been out there, pretty frequently, all during the day. Up until recently, not on purpose, but but I never see anybody over there. We were pretty much we would if we went out there, we would have that side of the lake to ourselves.
Yeah. And you think this thing got into the shed?
I think that maybe it ripped the doors off because it doesn't make no sense. Why would they break? Why would you know if you had boat cutter or something and you would cut the chain on the boat, steal the boat? Why would you not cut the lock on the door? You know, and why would you not do that? Because the door. I remember this because the doors for the shed. Because my brothers and my dad put them back on the shed, but they left the lock off. But the lock was still attached to the doors because there's a sliding door, metal shed. You know what I'm saying? And the doors slide together, and then you lock them in the middle. But they were ripped off. Like it was ripped off. So I remember they were saying that they thought that maybe they had backed their car up to it or whatever and put a rope or a chain around it and ripped them off. But then you would cut the lock or cut the chain to get the boat, but then just toss it in the water, and you have to be pretty strong to stick it in the it's just to stick it standing straight up in the mud as deep as it was, because it took them a while to get it out. It was weird. But I was a kid. I didn't think nothing. I wasn't thinking Sasquatch at the time. I'm going with them, and they didn't think it either. Obviously, they thought somebody, some vandals. Uh, but now looking back on it, then maybe it wasn't vandals. Uh, but after the door got ripped off, who knows what happened to all the stuff that's in there? Maybe somebody did come by and say, "Oh, look, there's an open shed with all the stuff in it," or maybe Sasquatch took it out. I don't know. I don't know, but it was empty. Everything was gone. They were upset about it.
Yeah. And was that
You
the
know,
same time frame that you saw the red eyes, or was that later? I think you
no,
mentioned the
no, that
shed was when you were younger, right?
yeah, I was a kid. I was a kid when the shed would happen, and
Mhm.
the shed's long gone. There's nothing left but a concrete pad there now.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely in there, and you seem to be at a good location to experience the activity. There's been a lot of reports from St. Clair. I've received a lot of emails, and it's just been hard to get people to come on the show. But there has been a lot of people that have emailed me, just like yourself, saying that they have stuff going on south of St. Clair. And yeah, there's a lot of forest out there as far as like Little Indian Creek Conservation Area, Merrimack State Park, and just everything south of there. It's huge. I don't know if you've ever drove out that way, but it's just nothing but woods.
Yeah, but I look on the map directly behind our campsite. There's a lot of woods back there. So between the lake and the river, it's like a half a mile, and like I measured it yesterday. It was like 300 acres of wood, and there's like one house there. I would really like to find out from them people if they've had any experiences over there. Because altogether there's like three houses. If you look on the map, there's like three houses. One of them houses is new that I've never. I just when I looked on the map the other night, it's very new. It's never been there before. So and it's close to where I think that it might be because I know there's caves over there, and I'm pretty sure they're using the caves as refuge. Because that just makes sense. And I'm 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 positive that's where they because I said I seen that picture from Google Earth where I seen that where it looks like there's one walking down a trail or whatever. I don't know. But to me that makes sense, and that's where they are. That's where I believe they are. And every time I go out there and I stay later at night, I hear them whoops, man, every time.
Yeah. What do the whoops sound like? Like the ones off the Sierra sounds? Just whoop, whoop.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
like monkeys, like monkeys, man. I'm like there ain't no monkeys in Missouri. There's no monkeys in Missouri. What, are you crazy? Yeah, I think there are. I don't, man. I don't know, man. But yeah, it's scary. it's scary out there at night when you start hearing them because cause nobody else, my sister, I got 7 brothers and sisters, and we don't get together too much anymore since Dad died. Uh, but when we do go out there and we get together a little bit, they hear them too, but they don't. They think it's just some kind of bird or something. Crane or something. I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't think so. And I got my gun next to me because
Yeah.
I don't want to. I really really hate to see one, and I really don't want. I got my gun with me just for personal safety. I'm not. I would never shoot at one unless I absolutely had to, like I was being attacked by them or something. Because because if you shot my brother or my friend, I'm coming to get you. You know, so I would not want to have to shoot one and then get killed by a fly. You know, because I'm positive there's more than one out there. There's got to be.
Oh yeah, for
There's
sure.
yeah, yeah, there's got to be a family.
Did you ever see the video of Dennis from the Little Indian Creek area on my channel?
At the killing fields.
No, this guy, his name was Dennis. He's out there. He used to live out there. He passed away, but he had a bunch of Bigfoot encounters out at Little Indian Creek, and he began having issues with them. And they took his dog Quigley, which was a blue healer, and then
Yeah. I've seen that one. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's that
They
same
killed. Yeah, they
area.
killed his dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, they killed his dog. Yeah, yeah. I've
mhm.
seen that.
And he's found some of the
Yeah.
best tracks I've ever seen, and that was at a lake. It wasn't the same lake that you're talking about, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's further south in the deep woods on some private land, but he's found
Right.
all kinds of tracks. And there's other researchers in Missouri that have more tracks that he's found from different Sasquatch creatures. I haven't been able to get them on the channel, but they have some of the best evidence I've ever seen in Missouri.
Really.
Hmm.
Wow. I was looking last night on the Bigfoot researchers website or whatever, and uh, there's some couple out there that are they're preachers or whatever, and their son had an encounter coming home from work, and then it doesn't say where they live, obviously, but it says Bush Creek Road, which is like it's like a mile on the other, it's like a mile away from the lake where I had my experience at. I'm like, yeah, there's definitely some activity out there. You know,
Oh yeah.
I would really like to know if that I'm not crazy. Because everybody thinks that I am. I don't think I am. But what everybody else tell me that I am, and I do have my doubts. But I'm pretty sure, man, that there's something out there that n- can't be explained, that nobody knows about, or just refuses to believe. I'm convinced. But at the same time, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. That's why I reached out to you. Am I crazy? you know,
No,
and
these things are definitely out there, and the report that you made certainly makes sense. There's been a lot of activity out there, like I said, and that's one of the hottest areas in Missouri for Bigfoot activity.
thank you, thank you for believing me, even because man, wow.
Yeah. When do you plan on going back out there? And are you going to like go in the woods looking for structures? Do you plan on camping out there, or do you just want to go back out and fish and just kind
I
of
I,
listen to your surroundings?
I want to go out there. I want to go out there. I want to go out there and stay the night, but I'm not going to do it by myself. Um, my birthday's coming up in a couple weeks, and I got managed to get them days off, the day of, the day before, and the day after. So that's what I want to do, and I'm going to go out there regardless of whether I stay the night or not. I'm going to go out there for the day at least, and fish and do some target practice, whatever. Uh, and I'll go walking through the woods back there with you through the day, but once it starts getting dark, I'm out of there. you know, 'Cause I do not want to be off in them woods at night. Not those woods, not at all.
I don't blame you there. That place is really spooky. I've had some experiences out there, but it's just like wood knocking and trees being slammed to the ground. But I've also
Yeah,
found some tracks, but I've never seen one out there. But I know they're out there, and there, like I said, there's been a lot of people that have made their reports on the channel, and I've never even read off the emails just because I've been waiting on them to make the report through a podcast, but being that they never did, it's been some time now. I think I'll just end up reading the emails eventually.
right. I mean, because from all my little bit of research that I've done, everything that I've come across, they are aggressive, like
Mm.
outright. And like I said, I take my gun with me, but I really would hate to have to fire at one, you know. And I really would. I hate to see them, but if there were some structures or something out there, saying I'm like 99% convinced. But if I see some tracks and some structures or something, that push me over 100%. I'm pretty sure they are there.
Mm.
I'm just at one eyesight away from. I really don't. I don't want to see one because I don't know what I would do. I would probably freeze.
Mm. Yeah,
Because
I don't blame you.
that would.
And have you heard the report on my channel of the county sheriff? He was the chief of police. He was out there about 1 a.m. around Little Indian Creek on patrol. He was a canine unit, and a big white Sasquatch ran in front of his patrol vehicle, and he hit it with the spotlight and watched it run all the way across the field. He said when it got halfway across that field, it ran super fast like a cheetah. I mean, it was lightning fast, and it freaked him out. I mean, he definitely suffers from PTSD due to the encounter, and this guy wasn't messing around, and it's a pretty serious report. One of the best reports I've ever taken on the channel, actually.
Yeah, I believe it, man. I mean, because that guy that the one that I saw, Patrick. When I watched that video and I seen his, I'm looking at his face, I'm reading his body language, and he wasn't lying.
Hmm. Yeah.
There's a one. I'm 100% convinced he's telling the truth.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
The eyes are
because you,
the windows to the soul, and you can see the fear in his eyes. You can feel the
man,
fear in his
you can,
voice. He's using his
yeah,
hands to describe everything, and he doesn't miss a beat.
man, you can see the blood drain out of his face when he's like, man, yeah, he was telling the truth. He's absolutely 100% truthful. I believe him, and I believe him more now. You know, yeah,
Mm.
he's spot on, man. I mean, like I said, that's what put me on this path because I had never even considered it until I seen that video and I was like, no way,
Yeah.
no way.
There's Bigfoot clans all across Missouri, especially through the Ozarks. But from all the reports that I've gathered from the Little Indian Creek area, from the St. Clair area, these things they're not effing around. Like these things are dangerous out there. And I think there's a
Yes,
bad clan out there and they will mess you up.
yeah, and I'm sure one of them is over there by me where our site is, because like I said, there's no reason for that thing to come up out of the woods the way it did, and like it was like letting us know that we were not welcome, you know.
Hmm.
And and really, I'm scared, but I'm also insulted because that's our property. We've owned it for 50 years, and we come out there and we vacation a little bit, we camp, and we always clean it up, you know, and we leave it better than what we found it, and I love going out there, but to like be run off my own property is really irritating and and insulting, but at the same time, that's their home. I realize that. I just I'm just like a vacationer or something. They live there.
Hmm.
I'm positive. I believe it.
Yeah, these things in the St. Clair area are man eaters, and like Dennis said, they took his dog, and they even tried taking his second dog, Quigley. And if you drive around St. Clair, especially the South Side, you'll see missing dog signs all over the place. And on
Really?
Dennis's road, there was several missing dog signs, just never seen again. So if there's people from St. Clair listening to this, pay attention to that.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
I wonder if that's what it was doing in that area, just going through the properties looking for its next meal.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah, and
I
you
doubt.
even mentioned that's the first thing you noticed is your dog did not want to get out, and I think that's what they
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah. But she wouldn't. She wouldn't. There, and like I said, my dog is. Me and my dog are like thick. We're thick, man. My dog loves me. I love my dog. And she follows me everywhere if she can, if I let her. But she got there to the lake. She won't get out of the car.
That's what they wanted.
She, she knows. she knows.
hmm That's the best Sasquatch alarm system is a dog. They will
I
pick up
believe
on the
it.
activity way before you will. I don't know if they can smell them, if they have like a sixth sense, but they definitely know they're around.
Uh huh. And then and when the woods go quiet, man, something's out there. If it's not a big cat or something. Well, nowadays it could possibly be a big cat, but if you know, it's either that or that, one or the other.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if there's Sasquatch in the area, you know you have bears and mountain lions too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't. It's scary. It is scary, man. Like I said, I don't. I would. I would love to see one, but I'm terrified of it at the same time. Because they are aggressive. They are aggressive, man. And what do you do? What can you do? You know, I mean, I imagine that these things, I imagine that these things are like, uh, what Wookiees were modeled after these things, you know,
Mm, yeah.
and I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's just I'm
Well,
nervous.
it
I'm
definitely
I'm
didn't
nervous.
have
I'm
good
nervous just sitting talking
intentions.
about it.
Yeah, it
I'm
didn't
I'm
have.
nervous. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, I
Go
was just
ahead.
saying it just seems like it didn't have good intentions. It was watching you guys. You guys could see the red eyes, and when you even left the area, it was pursuing you guys, and you could hear limbs and trees snapping. I mean, this thing was
Yeah.
after you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it made sure we were leaving for sure. It made sure we were not we were leaving. you know, like I said, it was a year before I went back out there, and I wasn't by myself. it
Yeah.
was it was nuts.
I wonder if any of the neighbors around there have any encounters. I mean, I'm sure some people have experienced things and they probably never talked about it or never
Man,
shared with anyone.
nobody lives on that lake. It's all open woods.
Do you
Nobody
live
lives
on the
there.
south side of the lake? Is that where the property is?
It actually is. It's the south side of the lake where the property is. It's a campsite. There's nothing there. It's just a campsite. There's no running water. There's no electricity. There's no nothing. If you don't bring it, you don't have it. And it's our spot. There's one other clear spot that's over there, but it looks horrible. It's not been maintained. Like I said, there was a cabin up the road a little bit. From our because like the road like tees off, and there was a cabin up there because it's like a roundabout. But that place has been gone for a long time. It's rotted to the ground,
hmm
you know. And like I said, I haven't seen nobody out there in years.
Yeah. How many acres do you guys have out there? You don't give away the exact number that way people can't look it up on the map, but
Oh
roughly
man,
estimating.
I don't quarter.
Okay. Because it looks
A
like there's
quarter.
some half a million or $1 million houses around that lake.
Yeah, there is. There is.
Mm,
There's some big, nice, beautiful houses over there, but they're on the other side. They're on the
yeah.
other side of the lake. Where we're at, there's nothing but woods. I mean, it's a perfect spot. It's very secluded. Very.
Yeah. I can't imagine the trauma that a person experiences when they see red eyes. I haven't seen them yet, but I've taken a lot of reports and it really messes people up. That's just scary. I mean, the first thing I would think is
Bro,
monster, demon.
bro, it is scary. when you realize that thing is not afraid of you. And most other animals, even bear and cat, they won't mess with a human, unless they got one by themselves somewhere, maybe, you know. But no, there was not just one of us. There was four of us out there, and it was not afraid of us. That's the really creepy part, man. Because it was like, I could see if I was if I was by myself, and it would like stalking me a little bit. I would never know it to begin with, until it was too late. But when there's a group of us and it's still not afraid, wow, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. These things aren't afraid of people. They just like to be left alone, but that doesn't mean they won't pursue you or go after you.
Right. And it wasn't like we was out in the woods, looking for it, like we would be doing, you know.
You
I
guys were
don't
just
know.
minding your own business.
Yeah, man, we were just drinking around the campfire, whatever they were. I was down by the lake, which is not far off from where they were sitting, I mean, within earshot, within eyesight, you know. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
now you can tell people that you threw a rock at a Sasquatch.
Right, right. Well, I mean, I've been telling people that they don't believe me. Nobody believes me,
Yeah.
They're telling me I'm crazy. There ain't no such thing, such thing, man. There's something out there. There is absolutely something out there. I'm 100% convinced of that. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I couldn't see it because it purposely stayed in the dark, just out of, just out of reach. Like the classic Sasquatch pictures. Nobody's got a real good picture. Man, just stayed out of. I couldn't see its body, man. I could just see its eyes, and wow.
Yeah. I
it's
threw
it's not.
apples at one before. He came up
Did you really?
at the edge of the wood line in the Mark Twain. But it was more like, shoot, I don't know what those guards are called. Maybe it's in Italy or in England, like the royal guards, the ones that like don't move and they just stand there
Yeah.
like statues. I didn't see it, but whenever I was tossing the apples, like it didn't pick up the apples and start eating them. It didn't throw anything back. It was just dead silent. But we knew they were
Just
there
watching
because they
you.
were breaking trees and wood knocking like crazy, and they were just watching us. It was a creepy feeling.
It is creepy feeling, man. It's very creepy feeling. Just knowing there's something out there watching you, and and if it wanted to, it could break you in half. You know, if it wanted to, but it's yeah, like you said, it's like a guard, just watching out for it's people. Just making sure we're not coming close and not messing around or nothing. Which I get that, but man, we wasn't bothering nobody, man. And man, it was not cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a scary feeling, like I said before, and something you have to live with. I would just pick and choose who you tell. I would only tell open-minded people, the right place, the right time, and yeah, it does no good sharing it with skeptics. They're just not going to believe, and you'll know who to tell.
Yeah, right, right, right. Like I said, I was talking to my manager the other day about it. He's like, wow, really? And he was all for listening to me and everything. I was like, oh, so I know I told him all about it, and then the younger guys there, I guess one of them might have overheard or whatever, and then he was just kind of laughing, and I'm just like, I wasn't going to share anything with him anymore. You know what I'm saying? He just like overheard us talking. He's just laughing. I'm like, man, you just have no idea, dude. You have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, typically I choose certain people to tell when I hear them talking about like ghosts or their paranormal experiences or aliens or just someone who's always really kind and open minded. But yeah, if you tell somebody who's like work construction or a big time hunter that you would think would believe you, most of the time they don't, and it's a
Yeah,
shame.
yeah. And it's just like, why aren't more people having more experiences, or they are and just don't realize it? Because like I said, I've been going out there my entire life, and I've been hearing the whoops, I've been hearing them my entire life. I just never picked up on what else it could possibly be. I just chalked it up to, just woods, you know, just animals in the woods, whatever, no big deal. I'd never in my life thought. until I seen that video and seen the looks in Patrick's eyes. Wow, it's, that's most likely a Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that pretty well covers your report, Robert, and it gives me a good idea of what's going out there, the area. And yeah, I appreciate you for being open with this encounter. And people need to know that they're out there.
Yeah, thank you for listening to me, man, and taking me seriously. Because I needed this. I really have, man. Because it's been bugging me for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you were open about it. And I hope that it helped you in some way or another. And yeah, if you go out there, let me know. I'd definitely be up for checking out the area. And you never know, we might experience something.
Maybe. Uh, I'm not sure if that would be a good thing or not. But okay. All right, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. Robert, thank you very much. And you have yourself an excellent 4th of July. Okay.
You too, brother.
All right. Take care. Bye. All right, Robert, thank you very much for sharing your terrifying Bigfoot encounter from St. Clair, Missouri. And I can only imagine what you felt like when you laid eyes on these glowing red eyes, and I'm sure it freaked you out. It would certainly terrify me, and like I said in the interview, I would think demon or monster if I saw that out in the woods. But yeah, the fact that this thing pursued you, it chased you as you guys were leaving the area, that's terrifying. I feel like it certainly wanted your dog. For some reason, Bigfoot reports from St. Clair, Missouri are usually terrifying ones, and I think the reason could be that these creatures have been shot at in these areas and they just do not like people. So be sure to be mindful of that if you live in the area, and yeah, keep your dogs locked up. If you enjoyed this Bigfoot report, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your Bigfoot encounter with me here on Sasquatch Theory. I appreciate everyone for watching, and until the next one, you guys be safe out in the woods.